Hi guys and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Zwandara Siweda, and in this channel we talk about all things personal finance, understanding all the financial investment vehicles that are out there, making sure that we rightfully use them towards our goals and ultimately achieve that financial freedom. Oh, guys, I love that intro. I love it. Please tell me if you also like my intro, guys. It's very intentional, it's very rich, it speaks to what I do. I love it. I hope you guys are getting the nuggets that you need to attain your financial freedom because my call is that of freedom. Okay, so as I promised on my previous video, where I was speaking about vision board, I promised that I was going to create another video where I'm going to speak on goal setting, right? So if you haven't watched my video on vision board, please go back just one video back. You should be able to find it, and it's linking to the video that I'm doing today. So today we're going to be talking about goal setting, and goal setting, as I mentioned on the previous video, is a detailed version of the vision board in case you're curious as to how the two differs, right? So I will handle it this way. I will share my top 5 financial goals, and I will also highlight things that I consider to set myself up for success. So I will also talk about some of the systems that I use to make sure that I am successful in attaining my financial goals, that they're not too complex for me to achieve, right? So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today, right? And before I can continue, I just want to introduce you guys to something that I'm doing. I am hosting a masterclass. It's starting in February. It's February and March. It's a 2-month masterclass, right? So I'm gonna put the poster somewhere on the screen. So the masterclass is about me sharing the principles of personal finance with the team that is going to join. I'm going to be sharing on a weekly basis in a form of a Zoom or Teams. I'll call some of the principles, and I will give activities where the attendees will then go and do those exercises, because ultimately my goal is to make sure that there is impact that we are having. So some of the things that I'll be focusing on would be looking into your financial statement, because it's very important for you to understand your current standing and to understand that principles really are just principles if they don't fit into your circumstances. So we'll be looking into what principles fit into your current status and which ones can we use to enable you in where you are, right? Those are the things that we're going to be looking into. So we'll go into looking into your statement to fix your budget. We'll look into savings and also systems that allows you to save and stick to your savings plan, because a lot of people actually can save, but the sad part is really they don't know how to stick to it. Some save and then withdraw it. So I will handle that also based on the challenges that each and every attendee will be having. So you guys will have access to me separately outside of these sessions, the weekly sessions that I'll be sharing. We'll have a WhatsApp group, and you'll have access to me to ask me questions that are particularly for you, because personal finance is personal, and I want to make sure that each and every person who's actually attending this get the solution that is very personalized, right? And we'll talk about investments, different investment vehicles, understanding them and making informed decision when it comes to choosing the right investment that will allow you to get to where you want to go. So I'm hoping to do all of this in the next coming 2 months, so make sure that you join in, guys. Sorry about that. I think it took longer than I wanted it to. So let's get back into goal setting, okay? So in terms of goal setting, some of you who watch my videos, you would have seen that when I speak about goals, I speak about SMART a lot of times, which stands for S stands for specific, and M stands for measurable, and A for attainable, and R for relevant, and T for time bound, right? So it's very important that when you set up your goals, they are very specific, right? So you do not just say, I want to buy a house. You say, I want to buy a 3-bedroom house in the next 12 months, right? And the reason for that is being specific actually allows you to identify the resources, tools, enablers for you to be able to achieve that particular goal, right? For example, if you say you want to buy a house, right? there's probably a deposit that you need to put in. There's probably like furniture that you need to be thinking of, lawyer fees that you need to consider. So really, if you can't specify and be specific about it, you will not be able to quantify the need that is associated with you achieving that. But if you know it's a 3-bedroom house, and more specifically, maybe you have a value for it to say, I will not exceed this much, definitely you will know how much lawyer fees are going to be needed. You will determine how much deposit you want to give, and also you will also know if really you want to if you want to, you can afford the furniture that is needed as well, right? So it's very important that you are very specific when it comes to your goal. And that speaks also to the attainability part. This is where you get to decide, is this goal that I'm setting up for myself achievable? Do I have the muscle to be able to achieve it? Do I have the capacity? Do I have the income muscle to be able to handle the goal that I am setting up for myself? I think another aspect that I wanted to mention is that when you set up the goals, you need to make sure that they're relevant, right? Which is the R part of things. And the relevancy speaks to priority of your life. I think a lot of times we set up goals because they sound, fancy. A lot of people like saying, I want to buy a house, right? This is one of the things that I've heard the most. But is it a relevant goal at that particular point of your life, right? So you really need to be very, very honest with yourself in regards to what are the priorities of your life. Because what will happen is the things that are a priority in your life, they will sneak in on you when you're trying to achieve things that are outside of your needs, right? For example, you're saying you want to buy a house, but what you just want to do, or what is a priority to your life, is to pay up debts. So the thing is, the debt will take up so much of your income, and you will feel like you're failing because you would not be able to save for the house. Whereas the actual goal that you're actually supposed to focus on is to pay up for the debt so that you can be able to then start saving for the house. So really make sure that it's a relevant goal for the particular time that you're actually doing the exercise, right? And then the other one is time bound. I think that the time bound, I spoke to it on the vision board, that for me, vision board is long term as a vision, right? And that's the answer you give when someone says, where do you want to be in the next 5 years? You bring out your vision board, because it's like, this is what I wish to become, right? Whereas when it comes to goal setting, it is more of the time frame, exactly the timeline. And the reason is, if you need 3,000 Rand for a particular goal, achieving it in 12 months and achieving it in 6 months will require you a different muscle altogether. So you need the timeline, and it's particularly important when it comes to financial goals, because financial goals then requires you to pay up something for you to attain those particular financial goals, right? So then make sure that you have the time frame, and the time frame that you set for yourself is relevant, it's attainable. Because one of the things that makes us fail when it comes to our goals is to setting goals that are very strict. Sometimes you just hear someone says, I saved 100,000, now where you want to jump on the wagon, and without considering if that is a goal that is attainable for you. So set up things that are very relevant for you within the relevant space of time, so that really it's inspiring. The fact that you can achieve it is very inspiring for you as well. So I wrote that it's important to make sure that the goals that you set are linked to your life goals. I think a lot of times we think that, financial goals are separate goals. But for me, I think I look into financial goals as a compensation into my life goals, right? So I look into my life, I want to be fit, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then I'm like, what is the financial implication of all these things that I want to become? And that's how I compensate them with the financial component of it. The reason why I think it's important for you to look at it this way is because finances are supposed to be a tool or enabler to better the lifestyle that we live. So if you just leave them separately, they will feel like a burden. So it's important for you to look into your finances as a tool, as like, how can I better my life? Or I would like to live in a house that is the size that will have a nice room with better lighting, with a bigger size of a room, then you're thinking about the quality of life that you want to live. Therefore, you can think about the finances. It makes it so much easier to think about finances when you know how that impact your day to day. So another way in which you can look into getting into my goals soon. I don't want this video to be too long, right? So another way you need to look into your financial goals is in these categories, right? You need to make sure that you look into, what are my income goals? What are my budgeting goals? What are my savings goals? What are my investment goals? And what are my debt management goals? And this is like all areas of your finances, right? I know some people will say, okay, I just don't have enough, therefore I cannot budget, right? So when you look into planning to set up your financial goals, you need to think, what is it that I did in 2023 that I want to take into 2024? And what is it that didn't go well in 2023 that I want to change in 2024? And that's where maybe more effort is going to come in, right, on the things you want to change. So in that, if you have learned from 2023 that you don't have enough income, or you're struggling to budget because your income is not enough, you need to start thinking, how can I improve my source of income? Which side hustle can I start so that I can get better income that will allow me to live the lifestyle that I want to live? So those are the changes that you want to do, right, in terms of income. And also, if you want to expand your business, so those are the goals that you put in the income bracket of things. And then the debt management as well. I think debt locks in a lot of money that we could be using for other things. So really make sure you prioritize how you want to pay up your debt. And one thing that I encourage people to do is to always have a list of all the debts that you have, right? And please, it should be short. So if it's not short, let's start working on it. That's one of the things that I'll be doing through the masterclass. I'll be trying to make you aware of how much you can unlock out of the money that is going towards debt. So think about it that way, and put up a goal in place, and put a structure and a system in place that will make sure that you get out of that particular debt. And of course, when it comes to savings, there are things such as your emergency fund, your sinking fund, that of course we'll talk about it on the masterclass. But also investments in a long term. Then what do you want for yourself? What kind of life do you see yourself living? So those are some of the things you need to think about. So coming into me and my life, let me give you my 5 goals, right? So 1, I want to open up a retirement annuity. For some of you who do not know, a retirement annuity is like a retirement plan such as pension or provident fund, but this one you can do on your own. So if you're a freelancer and then you don't have like a pension fund that your employer offers you can open this for yourself so that you can prepare for retirement. Okay, so this one I'm opening it up simply or mainly on based on the tax benefit of it, because the contributions are tax deductible that goes into retirement annuity, and of course there are limits to that as well. So that's why I'm going to open up a retirement annuity, to make sure that the money that I work for doesn't all go to SARS, guys. Like SARS already is taking too much. And I'm going to be maximizing my tax-free savings account. Again, I love this goal. If you watch my YouTube channel, you probably know that I am a firm believer of maximizing tax-free savings account. Again, tax-free savings account also is a tool that is used to maximize on, or to minimize, the amount of tax you get to pay to SARS, because I need more for myself and less going to Mr. Sam. Okay, so in regards to the tax-free savings account, I'm planning actually to do a debit order, and I'm going to talk about the importance of debit orders after mentioning all my goals. I'm going to be setting up debit orders starting from the 1st of the 2024 tax year, which is in March, just to make sure that also when it comes to easy equities, I don't get to be charged those administration fees. Okay, I'm also looking into an emergency fund. Let me tell you something that actually happened, guys, and the importance of an emergency fund. Emergency fund is an account that you actually create for yourself, put money there for emergency, in case an emergency is to happen. And trust me, emergency will definitely happen, right? So just make sure that you have money for it, right? So something that happened, I went to service my car, and while they were servicing my car, they came back and say, "Ma'am, your car is giving us a warning. It says it's time to change a battery." That's something that, to be honest, I was not really like planning for or planning on changing my battery. So it was a surprise when I asked how much. They said 3,000 rand, right? So if I didn't have an emergency fund, then that means that I would have just dipped into my savings. So that's where an emergency come in handy, so that you don't get too deep into your savings and then get demotivated by the fact that every time you save something, money goes somewhere. So you need money which you know you're definitely going to use in case of emergency, and also not to feel guilty when you use it, because you'll be using it for what it is for, right? And it allows you to progress on your savings as well without, withdrawal. So I have a target for my emergency fund, and I'm going to get this once off when I get a bonus. I'm not going to be saving it on a monthly basis. And it's very important for you to determine what resources you're going to need and how you plan on achieving it, as I mentioned on the smart, right? So another one is, I'm thinking about paying up my car, but I'm really like just contemplating on it, because I'm going to save this money aside and not into the car, and later on I will get to decide if I want to pay it up and close my car or not. I think right now I'm very emotional about this decision of paying up my car, because it's out of service and I'm angry because I get to pay service cash, and that those emotions are triggering the fact that I want to pay off my car. And of course, paying up a debt is not a bad decision. So if you are looking into paying up your car, I encourage you to do so. I'm just not sure at this particular point in time if it is the right decision for me. So I'll think through this goal and decide if really that's what I want to do. Another one, which is the fifth one, is I want to release or launch a journal at the end of the year, and hopefully you guys are going to buy my journal, right? So I'm working on it. There is people who are helping me with it, and hopefully you guys are going to use it. People who are going to join my masterclass will start using some of the templates, some of the guidelines that I have started creating in making sure that managing your finances it becomes more simpler. So people who are going to join the coaching session will start using those templates, and of course then I will get a bit of feedback in regards to what works and what doesn't work. So that's one of the thing that I want to do. So those are my goals. So I want to talk more about how do I make sure that I stick with them. I do not like change my mind, or I do not. To be honest, guys, when it comes to financial goals, the best thing you can do for yourself is to automate. So if you want to pay up your car faster, if you want to pay up your bond faster, if you want to save a particular amount, divide it into the months, what percentage in a month that is supposed to be. Therefore, then automate, like get it debited. This will release the burden of manual intervention on a monthly basis from you. So you don't have to make a decision of how much to save on a monthly basis, because you would have automated the system. If you want to finish up paying the house faster, please let them debit that 2,000 rand more towards your bond if you have it, right? And also, if you just want to do it when you have the money, it's okay, but that is merely a goal, because you don't know when you're gonna have that extra. So then you're already failing because there's no target, or you're already succeeding because there's no target, right? So that's it from my side, guys. Please let me know what your goals are, what you're looking forward to in this month. I'm excited. I'm feeling good about 2024, and I'm hoping it is also a great year for you. Goodbye.